So we're here with Tom Marchment from Hunt Wheels, who's going to talk us through this brand new model that we see right here. This model being the 3650 Carbon Wide Aero.
Perfect.
There we go. So we've got some new technology involved in the rims, right?
Yes, so in terms of tubeless tyres with carbon rims, it's not always been obvious to the outside person looking in at carbon rims, but for a long time obviously you could get carbon rim brake rims with a clincher tyre bed, but to make a carbon tubeless tyre bed is actually a relatively complicated thing to achieve, because with a clincher you don't have to have the effectively the clincher sits against the hooks or the sidewall, but it doesn't rely on the tyre bed, the bottom of the bed, to seal and fit correctly. Right. Whereas with tubeless it does, and it's quite important that those dimensions are accurate, and the diameter from one side of the wheel to the other for the shoulders that the tubeless tyre beads sit on is very accurate. And also the shape, so that it matches with the edge of the tubeless bead to seal properly.
So how's that achieved? What's the...
So the traditional method has been with a silicon mandrel, but it didn't have to be, when you did that, it didn't have to be a hugely accurate process, or at least the accuracy had to be stepped up if you were going to do
What's
do
a
it
mandrel, please?
Sorry, a mandrel is kind of like a bit of a silicon sausage, shaped like the shape of the inner tyre bed, and then it effectively stops at the top of the rim, and then different methods are used, but some remove or some kind of cut down and then shape the tyre hook, the hook on the side. But you can also use steel inserts in some cases, or certain things which are covered in certain different manufacturing techniques, all of which are quite difficult to achieve. But one of the key things with these is that they use a proprietary patented method for a very a special type of silicon and high pressures, because one of the big problems, which as I was just discussing with the silicon, is it doesn't matter on a clincher tyre, a clincher wheel, but when you use the silicon on a tubeless wheel, effectively you heat the rim in the oven, and the silicon, because it warms, it becomes malleable, and actually the gravity can pull the silicon lower down in the mold, so it means you get a slightly different dimension on the top and the bottom of the mold. So the left hand side, effectively, as if you were looking at this rim, would actually have a slightly higher diameter because there's not as much pressure on the silicon there.
And what difference does that make to us as the consumer and the end product that we get, that there's been that in the manufacturing process?
I mean, effectively you're looking for accuracy and consistency in this product, because obviously with a tubeless setup it's important that those tolerances are very tight, so that the tyre first of all sets up easily, and then once it's on, seals well and maintains its position well. So having that technology is quite important. So the company that we work with for this has a patent in Taiwan and China for production of all carbon rims with this method, and it's their own proprietary type of silicon, and they use a very high pressure to apply that in and make it sit extremely accurately in that surface.
Sure. And is it just this rim that gets this technology?
It's a 36 and the 50 rim that get the technology. So the 50 Carbon Wide Aero wheel set that exists already in our range, which uses that rim, has the same technology.
Cool. And let's quickly move on to the hubs. The hubs are slightly different to previously too?
Yeah, so this is our Sprint hub, which is, instead of having 28 points of engagement, it's got 48 points of engagement, so drops the angle of engagement down from about 13 degrees to 7.5 degrees. It's got a nice Freehub sound,
which is obviously the most important thing.
Of course, you can tell people when you're freewheeling and psych them out a little bit. But I mean, one of the things is interesting. I mean, I could probably talk about Freehub bodies for quite a long time, but yeah, there's obviously a lot of discussion around silent Freehub bodies. But obviously, this Freehub body uses traditional but individual leaf spring pulls, which are very strong, but they're also there's one on each pull, which means you've got redundancy if you ever have any issues with them, so a little bit more durable out in use. Obviously with silent Freehub bodies, the way they work is you apply a small amount of force to engage the drive, whereas with a Freehub body that has the spring in freewheel, then you're not having to engage that spring, apply that small, it's only a very minimal force, but you're not having to apply that when you engage drive, whereas obviously, so that's the traditional type like we have, whereas a silent freehub does require a small amount of force to engage.
Talk about
it's tiny amounts,
sure.
you know, so, but that's the key difference.
And are these wheels available right now?
They'll be on pre-order and they'll be available in 7 weeks.
And I take it the numbers refer to the rim depths, yeah?
That's right, 36 front, 50 rear, 27 wide, both of them, so nice and wide, excellent for 27, 25 mil tyres.
Okay, and 36, 50 is, they're available, that's the wheel set, yeah?
That's right, yeah. And then the 50 deep as well if you want that. That's the wheel set the Bike Channel Canyon has been racing on this year. Set up tubeless with Maxxis tubeless tyres. We didn't ask them to do that, we didn't even encourage them, that was their choice. They've been really impressed with the tubeless setup on the wheels, so yeah, it's been good. And they've won some races with sealed tubeless punctures, which has been quite interesting, which otherwise they'd have had to have a tyre change mid-race, so wheel change, sorry.
That's great.
Cool.
Thank you very much indeed, Tom.
No worries. Cheers. Mate. Thank you.